Hey gun people, survivalists, preparing for the revolution. I wanted to look at this chase a little bit and give you a perspective from a cop's perspective, from the suspect's perspective, and then from a survival point of view. You're going to see when this thing starts, this guy does a lot of things pretty quick.
Early this morning, now you're looking at the video.
I'm going to mute this. Now, this guy gets in the way here, but he's pointing at this car. They're trying to chase him. The thing about I want you to pay attention to on this guy driving his car is the way he's always getting new cars. He's trying to get away. When he damages a car, he gets a new car. This is good to confuse the cops, confuse the authorities. They've got him in one car. It's very hard when cops are chasing somebody to describe what kind of car he's in. Then all of a sudden he's in a different car. Then when the cops are looking for one guy that sits in one car, it's a lot easier for them to start focusing on, I'm looking for a red car, I'm looking for a red car, I'm looking for a red car. But when somebody like this guy switches cars, it's very difficult for cops to keep up. There's a lag time between information getting out on the radio. So as you see this thing going around here, you notice he's in a red car right now. He's still in the red car right up here. And of course there's a helicopter that's kind of transferring a lot of information. But again, the cops aren't able to keep up what kind of car he's driving or where he's at. Gets in his parking lot, looks like he stopped. They're saying he's a day in. Now all of a sudden the cops are all going to his parking lot. Then they go, oh, he's going to the woods. So now the cops don't know where to go. Now he's taking a different route, which nobody would expect, which the cops may or may not follow. Now he's back on a highway, and the cops are all heading to that parking lot. Now all of a sudden they're changing, they're making U-turns, and they're heading here. He jumps out here. Now here's where I want you to pay attention right here. This guy jumps in this van. Now, when he pulled in front of this car, if a guy cuts me off like this and pulls in front of me, I'm not letting him get out of the car and come to me. My car, as soon as it stops, it's going in reverse, and I'm backing up. And he's going to chase me. Or I'm going around him, and I'm flooring it. Or I'm not going to allow myself to be a hostage or to get taken in a situation like this or to lose my car. Now, some people will say, oh, I'll just give him the car. Well, you don't know if he's going to take the car. You don't know if he's going to shoot you anyway. You don't know if he's going to keep you hostage at gunpoint so the cops can't shoot him. So this victim to where you cooperate with bad people, never been a fan of it. That's what I call a victim looking for a place to happen. When you're in a survival mode, either these people in the car or this guy, the guy running is really trying to, he's changing the car. He's going from a red car to a white car. Now all the cops that were focused on red cars, red cars, red cars, now they're focused on white cars, which is the most common color, a white car. So a white car is going to blend in more. He got the same type of car. I don't know if he was thinking in advance of this. Probably not. When predators are running and you're in fear and you're in fight or flight, and he's in a flight mode, he's in survival mode, he's going to take targets of opportunity. This target was easy. He saw it was a family. He saw he could pull in front of it. They stopped, so he jumps out. And I'm going to try and back up just a little bit so you can kind of see that again. Well, I didn't go back far enough. So he pulls in front of his car. This car stops like, hey, what are you doing? It should be in reverse, backing up right now. He starts fighting with this guy. Notice this lady jumping out of this car. Good move on her part. I don't know if he told her to get out. I don't know if she's grabbing her kid. She looks like she grabbed her purse. I don't know if there's someone else in the car. There's some dude sitting on the ground here. And I want to go back here. Oh, I guess I did go back. I wanted to stop. So he cuts her off. He jumps out. He's changing cars. He's probably got a gun or knife. He's got the driver. If there was a baby in the car, this mom wouldn't want to get out of the car probably. She's jumping out. She grabs her purse. Can't leave that. This dude's on the ground right here. And now what does he do? He's changing directions and he's going a different direction. So now all the cops that are chasing this guy, he's in a red car going east on some highway. Now all of a sudden he dumps that car. Now of course the helicopter's saying he just dumped the red car. He's now in a white car. Now he's going westbound when he was going east. But for cops, because they're dealing with traffic, they've got all kind of rules. They don't want to hurt anybody. well, they don't really care if they hurt somebody most of the time. They're kind of involved in the chase, but they're not going to intentionally hurt anybody. They're not going to start ramming cars to make U-turns. So they've got to go around traffic, try to use some sort of safety to make their U-turns. But now you're really confusing the cops on what direction you're going. So from a crook perspective, this guy's doing a lot of things right. From a guy that's avoiding being chased, either in the cops chasing a bad guy. I'm really getting tired of our government and the extremes is going. So, we're moving more and more to where you're going to start hearing citizens called terrorists, freedom fighters, or revolutionaries, because they're going to start pushing back against the government because the government's out of control. So if this guy was trying to avoid the government or was in a revolution, or if this was in a third world country, trying to pursue or lose your chasers or the people chasing you, he's doing a lot of good things here. He's changing the colors of his car. He's getting different color cars. He's getting the same type of car. He's changing the direction. He's not following rules of the road. He's not following the roads. He's not following the set paths. He's not following direction. In a minute here, he's going to go the wrong direction. So let's So now he's going the wrong way on the wrong way street. Now this kind of gets him right here. You're going to see some guys toss out some speed strips. Now this poor dummy in his car right here is about to get screwed. So these two cars are like do-do-do-do-do. They don't see this car. These people are kind of in their what I call their white zone because they're not paying attention. They should see this guy coming the wrong way and they're still in their lane. They should be way over to the right. These cops right here are throwing out these speed strips, and they're going to end up taking out this poor guy here who's not paying attention. And this car is going to get away. So this guy, is he going this way? Is he going on this side of the road because he wants to, or is he trying to avoid the cops? That's why a long time ago they stopped cops from doing roadblocks. Cops used to set up roadblocks, block the roadway, and put cars. They stopped that because it's like, look, you're using deadly force. When a guy rams into you, you're creating a situation. It's kind of like jumping in front of a car and then saying he was trying to run me over, so I shot him. Well, when you block cars on a highway and cars had no path, they either had to go off the roadway and hit someone else, or they had to run into the cops, and you're making the situation worse. And nowadays, government is doing that all the time. Cops are doing it. There's no accountability. Government has total power, and nobody can sue, and nobody can fight back. And if you try, you get the IRS sicked on you or whatever. So we're in a Gestapo government here in the U.S. But this to me is these cops are forcing him to go against this road here. Now, of course, there's going to be cops out there that are saying the cops aren't causing this. It's the guy that's running. Well, you know what? There's a lot of agencies that don't chase people, and you know what? They don't kill a lot of people. Because as soon as they're not being chased, they slow down, they park, they hide. You get them a different day. So unless you're chasing a mass murderer who just shot up some school, I mean, you really need to evaluate, and now there is no evaluation. Cops are just pretty much, because they know they have government protection, they know they're not going to get sued. No cop ever that I've ever heard of has been charged or sued or prosecuted for chasing somebody and making them cause an accident, because they always blame the guy committing the crime. And that's just a loophole for the government. I don't like it, but, you know, people are going to say I hate the government. Well, they're probably right. So, I don't know if you saw that, because this thing here is, I'm going to go back here just a little bit. Right here, this guy gets a spike strip. So anyway, he's still running. He hits another car. He's going to get out here and try to, he doesn't know which car to carjack. Then he wants to go back to the car. Somehow he gets another car. I don't know if he's in that same car or not. I think it is. Now he's ramming this car, trying to make them pull over. Now, when you're in your car, you're pretty safe. You do not want to stop and give up your ability to flee. So this car stops because he thinks it's an accident. He's walking up all calm, trying to be cool. And then when he gets to the car, he rips the person out. Now you're going to see this, I think it's a woman, try to fight this guy and try to get back in her car. She almost gets her butt killed. At this point, if you're yanked out of your car, don't try to get back in the car and prevent your car. Now, I don't know if she had a kid in there. Maybe her child was in there. Maybe her pet was in there. Maybe something else was driving her. But you see how people react different ways. A few minutes ago, a woman jumped out of the passenger seat and said, "I'm out of here," but didn't forget her purse. And now on this one, you're going to see this woman doesn't want to leave. Maybe she forgot her purse. She tries to get in there, and the door almost slams and catches her hand, and she could have been dragged underneath that tire. So, get out, get out, get out. He's pulling her, he pulls her out. Now, she could run. She goes back, tries to get back in. "Hey, I want my purse." He says, "Screw you, I got your car." So now he goes in, TC's, traffic collision. He wrecks in here in the middle of the road, gets out. He can't get a car. He wants to go to that car, but this deputy right here, this cop right here is chasing him around. So he decides to bail. So now he's on foot. So now the cops are chasing him on foot. Again, he gets through here, he slips. Now he's shedding his jacket, trying to change his appearance. Very common for crooks. They're looking for a guy with a black jacket and a hood. Now, obviously, when it's snowing, if you got a guy running around a tank top, you're going to think that's odd, so that's going to catch the cops' attention. He tries to jump. His adrenaline's running out. He's getting tired, and he ends up falling and collapsing because he sees the cops kind of jumping out of the cars. The cops are fresh because they're not running. They're on adrenaline. He's been on adrenaline for a lot longer period of time, changing cars, grabbing, etc. Your body can only handle that high rush, that speed of adrenaline and pumping. When you go to that fight or flight mode, you can only handle it so long, and then you crash. And the body just can't do it. Kind of like people that use drugs. They take cocaine, they get a really big high. They take crank, they get that big high. And then when they come down, they crash really hard when they lose it. Because the body just can't maintain that running at 120 miles an hour all the time. So he ends up crashing, and then the cops get down. Of course, kneel on his head, start beating him and punching him. You know, being the government we are, using minimum. I mean, the guy ain't fighting, obviously, but whatever. I thought that was interesting. I'll let it run again just in case you wanted to see it. Straight through without me yapping. Again, fight or flight. Being aware if you're being pursued, if you're trying to avoid this, things that are good. If you had a bad guy chasing you and you were the good guy, these are things, you know, if there was a woman that was being pursued by a stalker. I'm not saying carjack people, but changing your appearance, changing your cars, not going to regular routines, changing things that are normal makes it harder for someone to stay up with you. And again, these countries right now that are rioting and trying to avoid the government and fight the government, these are all things that people don't realize that you're actually training yourself, or you should be training yourself on. You know, in the military, I think they call it evasion and something else. Yeah, where you avoid the enemy. You know how to hide, you know how to eat, you know how to bury yourself in leaves, ditches, you know how to stay off the high line, not shadows, etc. And police work, when you're going in, if you're going into certain areas, you're going to wear certain types of clothes that bends into the urban environment. If you're out in the woods, you want to wear camouflage and things that blend into that environment. If you're in a vehicle, changing the color of your cars, changing the type of car you're driving, changing your appearance. He didn't take hostages. This guy is pretty much in a flight. I just want to get away, so he's running. But he's still tapping people. He's trying to get people to pull over. If you have somebody doing this, you need to think ahead. Why is he doing this? What's my advantage of stopping and cooperating? Cooperating with him or cooperating with the government usually ends up getting you in trouble. I mean, you just don't want to give up or volunteer. I mean, they read you your Fifth Amendment right to remain silent. Anything you say can be used against you. When you're being pursued, anything you do can be used against you to hurt you or help you. And understanding that and realizing, you know, how this flight and fight works, what you're going to be going through if you were pursued, what a pursuer is going through. If you're a victim in a car and you don't want to get involved, what's the best thing to do? Lock your cars. Keep moving. Throw your car in reverse. Floor your car. Don't stop. Don't make yourself an easy target for somebody to get in your car, to remove you from your car, to get next to your car, to get a close shot at your car to where they can hold a gun at your window. I mean, you have to be thinking of this all the time. When you're driving, when you're on your bike, when you're jogging, whatever you're doing, and if you look at my zones where I talk about the white zone, red zone, yellow zone, all that, understanding all that will really assist you in surviving or not becoming what I call a victim when you didn't have to be. That woman that tried jumping a car was almost a victim because she didn't have to be. She could have ran. The lady that jumped out of her car was like, I'm not being a victim, I'm out of here. She ran to the back of the car and took off. She didn't stop. She didn't check on the other guy that was sitting on the ground. She didn't care. She was running. Somebody might say, you know what, she should check, she should worry. Look, in survival mode, you can't help anybody if you don't save yourself. If a guy is shooting people in the head and you walk in there with no gun and just walk up and try to start saving people and then get shot in the head, you're not helping anybody. You've just became a casualty for no reason. So thinking ahead, understanding fight or flight, all those things will just hopefully tie into if you're carrying a gun, when you're using a gun, if someone else has a gun, if somebody pulls a gun, when and how to act, if you react, kind of thinking ahead, what circumstances am I going to prevent? If those people would have thought about that on the roadway, on the driveway, if they'd have been paying attention, hey, why is this car driving at me? Let me get out of the way. Let me move to the right. Let me look ahead on where I'm going. How can I not see a car coming right at me? All these things are running through people's minds, and if you're not paying attention and you get in that comfort zone where I'm in a highway, everybody's going to follow the road, I'm safe, nobody's going to hurt me, the government's my friend, everybody's my friend, and I should be kind to everybody, that's how you become a victim. So hopefully that helps. We'll end that there. I thought that was a good little chase, and that guy who was running was doing some good things to get away, and hopefully he was, you know, whatever, I don't know what he was charged with, probably quite a few crimes, but I'm not really worried about him. I was worried about his reactions and the people that he encountered and their reactions. Hope that helps. Buddy Mr. T, you're good boys.